Right, so what do you want to do today? You could wrestle with a hippo, run with a pack of wild dogs. So, what? Nothing? You just want to spend the whole day doing nothing? Okay, fine. But if you're going to do that, then why not do it somewhere nice? Somewhere like Mexico, for example. Come on, boys, hurry up. There. Isn't that nice? Here, have a cocktail. Don't forget to splash on some of that lovely sun cream. It's made of lemon flowers and freshly mown grass. Lovely. But what's that sound? Oh dear, I do believe I hear the sound of a bee. Either of you two amigos scared of one single bee? Quite right. After all, most bees won't attack unless you disturb them. But then most bees aren't killer bees. I'm not a killer bee. Are you a killer bee? Yes, don't kill me. Killer bees were actually created in 1957 by a biologist in Brazil who mixed bees from Europe with bees from Southern Africa to make a bee that would produce more honey in hot countries. Now, this would have been fine if he hadn't accidentally released them and they spread here to Mexico. Hey, come on, amigos. It's not that bad. Seriously, you just have to be prepared. Get it? You want me to be quiet, do you? Okay, I'll behave. Or should that be hive? Anyhow, forget the scary name, because actually a killer bee is no more dangerous than any other bee. So why then is it called a killer bee? And the answer is, when they do attack, they tend to attack in very large numbers. And it's the sheer number of stings that kills. Lucky for you, it looks like this little fellow's on his own. And he can only sting once. So who's it going to be? Oh, come on, Mark. Stop being so juvenile. Mark, give him a break. You're annoying him. Mark! Mark, look, no one's going to choose who gets stung here, okay? Mind you, you might still want to know whether it's a normal bee or a killer bee. And one way to tell is size. Killer bees are much smaller than normal bees, but the difference is so small that you can't see it with the human eye. And if you don't have another bee to measure it against, or another eye to use, then there's really no point in measuring it. Is there, Sam? So what other ways are there of telling the difference? Well, for a start, the hives of killer bees are much smaller than those of your normal European bee, and may not even be much larger than your average mug of tea. Chill mind, Sam. This is a respectable programme. It's not an ad for littering. Thank you. Now, the other difference between killer bees and normal bees is that killer bees often make their nests in the ground. And if their nest is disturbed, they tend to defend it much more quickly and much, much more ferociously. Although these ones seem to have been attracted elsewhere. Talking about attraction, try to wear light-coloured clothing since bees tend to attack dark things. Also, bees are very sensitive to different smells, so avoid wearing aftershaves or perfumes or anything that smells of, say, lemon flowers or citrus fruits. Like that suntan lotion, for instance. Now, if you do find yourself being attacked, don't swat at them. If you squash a bee, it automatically sends out a signal which tells other bees to attack. So cover your face instead. And then, run! But do try to look where you're going. And whatever you do, don't jump into water. Bees will hang around at the surface just waiting for you to come up for air. And since they might hang around for up to 30 minutes, maybe we'll come back to you later.
Memphis City.
In the meantime, what you need to do, Mark, is find shelter as soon as possible. And then check for stings. Now, you were lucky, Mark. You didn't get stung. But if you were unlucky, or really unlucky, the first thing to do is to deal with the stingers left in your skin. And you better be quick too, because the stinger will continue pumping its venom into you for a whole minute after the bee has stung you. So try to remove it as fast as you can. And be sure not to pinch the venom sac, as that will just force more venom into the skin. Instead, try to scrape along the skin with a hard edge like a ruler to extract the stinger. Then use some frozen peas to reduce the swelling, but preferably while they're still in a packet. Yeah, that's better. Then make a paste of baking soda and water. Rub it all over the bites. Leave it on for a while, and hey presto, salmon mark pie! But maybe that's more for next time. So if you are chased by killer bees, then 1. Run. 2. Don't swat them. 3. Don't jump into water. And 4. Run!